Hey all, it's Linda. Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I just kind of wanted to sit down and play with makeup as I am doing a Q&A. So I asked you all on my Instagram stories and also on my YouTube community page to give me your juiciest questions. And some of these questions were definitely juicy, okay? Next time I ask this, I want even juicier, okay? So this is your invitation to, in the comments down below, if I don't get your question answered in this video, please leave your juicy questions and I'm gonna save them for next time I do this, but I just wanted to play with makeup. I really wanted to get an orange smoky look today. I wanted to use all mattes. I was feeling a little grunge moment. So if you want to see how I got this look and also hear me answer some, it's just thick, juicy, moist questions, then keep watching. Hello, so we're gonna get into these questions. I do have on my foundation and a little bit of concealer, and I did my eyebrows off camera. I'm going in with the Charlotte Tilbury cream bronzer. We're gonna get started. I don't know whether to start with the Instagram questions or the ones from YouTube, but I'm just gonna point to something. All right, someone said, if you could only keep Natasha Denona or Melt eyeshadows, which would you pick? This is so tough for me. I love Natasha Denona shadows for my neutrals. My neutrals are like all Natasha Denona. I think the quality is creamy. I think the quality is sexy, and it makes things very, very easy. Wow, that's real intense, Linda. Natasha Denona shadows make everything easy, where I feel like some Melt shadows you have to work for it, but you do not get the colors in Natasha Denona that you get with Melt. So I'm sorry, it's got to be Melt. Even though you have to work sometimes to get those colors to behave with you, I would rather have color and good quality than neutral and good quality. Oh, damn, that's a really hard one. No, I'm going with Melt. I'm going with my first answer. Yes, Melt. Ooh, have you ever personally had a negative experience with a brand and or content creator? Yes, 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 yes. I will not say, I know that you want the juicy deets, but I'll give you some roundabout answers. I think I've talked about this briefly before, but I had an instance with a brand who I will say advertises heavily on beauty channels, and they love to have beauty influencers promote their stuff, not just beauty channels, other channels too, but they really, really love to have their stuff promoted through influencers, which I get. This brand, what they offered me, now let me tell you, when you don't really have a following at all, the offers that you get from brands to promote their stuff, usually they're like, hey, we're gonna send you X product and we want you to talk about it on your channel. And if you decide to do that, that is totally fine as long as you disclose it. That's totally fine. You know, you make your own decisions that way. If you say, yes, I agree to talk about you in exchange for this product. And I did that in the beginning of my YouTube career because when you have brands offering to send you products, you're just like, yes, and you'll take whatever you can get. But now at the place where I am now, I've realized that them giving you product in exchange for you talking about it, that's a sponsorship, right? So there is this brand that, again, they advertise a lot through influencers, through YouTubers. So they know the drill, okay? And they like to offer piddly amounts of things for you to talk about them. As I'm talking about this, I'm going to start going with my eyes, and I wanted to use this. I haven't used it much. This is the Nomad Hudson Valley palette. I'm really feeling like dark oranges and browns in a kind of smoky way, so I feel like trying this, and I think I'm going to do an all matte look, which I haven't done in forever. But yes, so these brands will come in and they'll just, try to offer you things, and this brand offered me $30 worth of product to talk about them on my channel. Let me tell you, between filming a video, editing a video, uploading a video, writing everything that you see in the description box, answering comments, that is hours. Oh, that's intense. That is hours upon hours upon hours of work, okay? And you want to offer $30 for those hours of work. No, not at all. Now, if you want to offer me a car in exchange for a video, we can chat. So just call me. But if you want to offer me $30 for hours upon hours of work, no. Would you work anywhere? Would you work for 6 hours to get $30? And if you would, and I know that maybe it's a luxury that I'm saying I wouldn't do that, but I wouldn't. I want you to value yourself. I do value my work, and I value the time that I put into my work. So that brand is a big no from me. Again, I don't want to say who it is, but I just, I'm not a big fan, and that was definitely a negative experience. As far as negative experiences with influencers, I feel like I should have an answer here, and I don't, because I think I've just had very, very good luck with any influencers that I have personally met or have personally invested my time in. I think I've been very, very lucky in that sense. Even the ones who I've met in situations like at a convention or things like that, I've never had any one of them be really, really rude to me. Actually, they've all been really nice. Like, hold on. I gotta think. There's gotta be somebody. There seriously isn't. There seriously isn't. I just sat here and really tried to think about it. I don't think I've had a single negative experience with an influencer. I have influencers who I talked with back in the day that I don't chat with as much anymore, but there's no like bad blood here and there. So, I mean, no, I guess I've never had a negative experience with a specific influencer. Wow. One person said, and they commented this like several times, it was only 2 words, practice witchcraft. I find this one funny because I feel like if you say, do you practice witchcraft? I feel like that phrase alone, and tell me what you think, has a really negative connotation to it. So to this person, if you are seeing witchcraft as something negative or scary, I really encourage you to kind of look into, what it is, because it's nothing to be scared of. So do I practice witchcraft? I will say no, I don't. I have looked into Wicca and I've practiced it in the past, but honestly, I don't really practice any religion right now. I've mentioned this in past videos, but I was raised as Jewish, and my family is still, I'd say, lightly practicing. Like, you know how a lot of Catholics will only go to church on Easter and Christmas and like the high holy holidays? I think that's kind of what my family does. You know, Passover, they're there, Yom Kippur, they're there, Rosh Hashanah, things like that. But I was never really into it as a kid, and I was not forced, like, you have to be this religion too. So I do respect that about my family. And I'm not particularly a fan of religion in general. It's not for me. But here's the thing. If you are a religious person, and I mean any religion, and you are using that religion to do good or to spread good things, then I think you're doing it for the right reasons. And I think it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. I'll be honest, I am an atheist. I do not personally believe in a God. Kind of wish I did, because it would be so lovely to know that these things that I'm doing throughout my life, like if I'm donating to charity or if I'm helping out a friend, that those things will eventually get me into this beautiful place called heaven. And I wish I believed in that. I just don't. I am in my 40s now, so I'm pretty sure these are my beliefs and they are set where they are. I'm not saying things can't change, but if you are somebody who is taking your religion and using it to love everybody, because I do believe that the God that people have talked about wants love and wants people to love and care about each other. So it's like, if you're using it for that, kudos to you. If you are using religion to hate or to say that one group of people is above or better than another group of people, that's when I'm not a big fan. But let's circle back real quick. Practice witchcraft. I'd say no. I'm fascinated by it. I think that if I was going to worship anything, the idea of worshiping nature is a beautiful, beautiful concept. But no, I do not practice witchcraft. What did you want to be when you grew up? Oh God, what didn't I want to be when I grew up, right? I wanted to be a princess, a mermaid, a ballerina, marine biologist. Okay, look, I want you to tell me, if you are a child of the 80s or the 90s, did you also want to be a marine biologist? Because I don't know where this came from, but I feel like everyone wanted to. We had no idea what it meant. We just kind of knew we would get to play with dolphins. I blame Lisa Frank. For a long time, I also thought that maybe I even wanted to be a teacher, and which is interesting because I'm not the biggest fan of children. I don't have children for a reason, and I'm surprised almost at myself that I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be an actor for a little bit, for a long bit actually. I acted a lot throughout middle and high school, and I really, really thought that it was the thing. I really did, and interestingly enough, so I did not major in it in college, but as soon as I got into college, one of the first things I did was go to try out for one of the plays. And I was very nervous. And I've never had a great singing voice, but I have a tolerable one, I think. And I started singing, and they literally laughed. And not gonna lie, that was kind of the end of my my theater career. I just got laughed out of an audition. So yeah, I definitely stopped at that point. Again, I am not a great singer. I've never said that I was a great singer, but I love doing it, and I can, I can hold a note. But yeah, that was the end of it for me. But in high school, I was in so many plays. I was in Guys and Dolls as the lead. I was in The Diary of Anne Frank as the lead. I was in, oh gosh, what else? Not as the lead, but I was in Music Man, My Fair Lady, A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum. I was in so many of these, and I love Music Man. Did I say Music Man already? I'm going to say Music Man again. But I loved it so much. So I guess that's what I wanted to be when I was growing up. Ooh. How do you manage your desk job with YouTube now that you are growing? And they said, congrats. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. So this June will be 10 years that I am on YouTube. 10 freaking years. And I see people who get 10,000 subscribers in 10 minutes on YouTube. You know what I mean? I've seen people do it, and you can still do it. So by the way, if anyone ever asks the question, is it too late to do YouTube? I don't think it's ever too late, because you have something different to offer than I do. And then this person does and that person does. So do it. But anyway, it has gotten to be, I'm not going to lie, it's gotten to be very difficult for me. And that's because I am somebody who needs my downtime. I really need downtime where I don't have any plans, and that doesn't happen. So if I want to make sure that my weekends are open and that I'm not filming and editing, which again takes many hours, 9 times out of 10, I am filming before work and I am editing after work. So I am working like 12, 13-hour days a lot on the weekdays, and it's very difficult for me. And that's probably why you may have seen me take several breaks here and there where I'm just like, you know what? I've got to be done. I've got to like only do 1 video a week, or I've got to just figure something else out because this isn't working for me right now. And it's hard for me to do that because it feels almost like I'm admitting defeat. And I don't like that. I hold myself very accountable for things. I hold myself to a really high standard, and I don't like skipping weeks. I don't like skipping days. It makes me upset. I feel like I'm letting people down. So I'm not going to lie, like as my desk job, if we want to call it that, has gotten more demanding and more difficult, because I do have quite a demanding job. It's difficult to keep up, but the thing is, I love doing this. I love doing this. I love talking in a blank room to a freaking camera and then knowing that you all are watching it and getting something out of it. And every time you leave me a comment, every time I read every single comment, I try to respond to all of them. I don't always get around to it, but I try to respond to every single comment. Every time I get those, I'm like, you know what? This is why I'm doing it, because I started my channel to connect and have a sense of community. It was not to get money or whatever, because when I started, people weren't really getting money off YouTube, and the only people that were like the huge ones, you know what I mean? So I never thought that I'd be making money off of YouTube. I never thought that would happen at all. So the fact that it is happening is still kind of like mind-blowing. I'm not making a ton of money, but I'm making, a little bit, just enough to keep my channel floating a little bit. But it's still kind of fascinating to me, and it's difficult. Like, it's difficult to keep them both going, but I do it because I genuinely love it, and it genuinely brings me so much joy. Like, I feel like at the end of every video, like, it almost sounds like I'm saying a script now, or I'm like, I love you so much with my whole heart. And I say that though because I do. Like, you guys make my day. You really make my day. This is not turning out exactly how I wanted. I was hoping for like a deeper orange. I wonder if I have one. This is ever so slightly deeper. So this is the Melt Vita palette, which I'm sorry has been discontinued. It's only slightly deeper though. Let's see if that does anything, or is that just going to brighten it up more orange? Yeah, that's just more orange, huh? Whatever, we'll make them match. Okay, next question. Okay, so I did ask you guys for juicy questions. Let me start by saying that. I asked you for juicy questions, and I genuinely didn't want you to leave anything out. But I do have to admit, there is one question here that did offend me to read, and I was like, you know what, should I skip that? I'm like, no, you know what, I asked for juicy questions, I gotta say the juicy questions. So this person said, which cat is your favorite? First of all, how fucking dare you? How can you make me, you're making me choose? Like, I'm really offended. Okay, no, look, this is gonna sound like a cop-out answer, I will say that, but we're going to get into this. Also, I'm just going to go ahead and start kind of lining my eyes with this dark brown, see if I can smoke it up that way. My boys are both very weird. They are brothers, in case you didn't know. They look absolutely nothing alike, but they are brothers. But like, Piper has turned into this cuddly boy. In the mornings when I wake up, he is the very first one. He runs over to me and he needs snuggles. Like, even this morning, that child ran up to this close to my face when he knew it was time for me to get up and screamed full volume in my face, and I should have been angry. I freaking loved it. I love it. He's the one who sleeps with me every night. He just, oh God, he's my little cuddle boy. But Haggis is so sweet. He is so cuddly when he wants to be. Like, when I'm watching TV, he will come up and sit right here on my chest, like at my throat level, and just want to snuggle and be the sweetest boy ever. And it every single time he does it, like, my heart stops for it. And so it's like Piper has this screaming meow. Like, we say that he says awoo. That's his meow. He goes, oh, well. Why am I doing this? That's what he sounds like. But Haggis sounds like he's constantly talking to birds. So you know your cat, when they're talking to birds, they go, that's how Haggis meows at all times. And I love it. I love that they're both so different. Now, if you're new to my channel, you might not know, before these boys, I did have a cat, Spooky, who lived to be 18 and a half. And I've heard the phrase heart animal before. I gotta focus on this, wait. I've heard that phrase though. I've heard heart animal before, and like, Spooky, I will say, was my heart animal. You know, she was my first kitten, and I loved her more than anything. We're almost at a year since she passed, and I still think about her probably once a day, at least. I am gonna miss that kitten forever. She was my lady, and these boys are my gentlemen. So, which cat do I love the best? How dare you? I got a couple questions similar to this. Okay, so I got two questions right in a row. One said, have you always known you didn't want children? And the other one said, as a woman in the same boat, why did you decide not to have kids? So did I always know I didn't want to have children? No. When I was in like middle school, up to I'd say freshman year maybe or so, I thought I wanted kids. And not only did I think I wanted kids, I thought I wanted a lot of kids. And I don't know where the change happened or why the change happened, but it happened, and it happened quick, and it stuck. Everyone was convinced that I'd changed my mind, and guess what? I am 42 and I still have not changed my mind. And as for why I didn't want to have kids, I would love to say that it's because I did not want to bring a child into this harsh world, I want to say more often though that it was, I'm selfish. I was selfish, and that's hard to say out loud, but I'm okay saying it now, because when I think of what having a child involves, of course, it's so much love, and it is so much affection, and you feel like, I've heard people say, you feel like your heart is living outside your chest. And I am somebody who, when somebody I know, or even somebody I know just virtually online, wants to be pregnant, and then they get pregnant, and then they have that baby, like, I cry at videos like that. I cry at those videos every time, because I know how much that means to people. But for me, when I think of what I want my adult life to be, I love my husband so much. I love my husband, Tim. We've been together a very long time, and I want us to have our time together, just us. And he feels the same way, by the way. So it's not like, I took his desire away to have kids. But I want it to be just us, and I want us to go travel. And I want us to, if we feel like going out for ice cream on a Tuesday night, whatever, just doing whatever we want. And again, to a lot of people, and to me for a very long time, it felt like a very selfish opinion. But I feel like as I grow older, I'm like, you know what? I think that instead, it would have been selfish for me to bring a child into this world, knowing that I want to have, Tim and I just our little bubble together, or that I want to go on vacations by ourselves and things like that. Like, how sucky would that be if I was like every 5 minutes, like, oh, hey kid, what's up? Here's the babysitter again, bye. So yeah, I guess it's selfishness. It's whatever you want to call it. But I will say I am extremely confident in my decision not to have kids. But I respect everyone's decision of whether they want to have kids. Okay, I'm going over to my YouTube community page and seeing the ones that got the most thumbs up. Okay, this one has the most thumbs up. So this person asked 2 questions. They said, I have 2 if it's okay. How did you meet your husband? I'll start with that. So Tim and I have been together, not married, but together, this past December was 22 years. Really? Holy crap, 22 years. 22 years. Oh, by the way, I'm using my beloved Lynx Melt Blush Light, or Melt Cream Blush Light in Lynx. But yeah, we've been together for a long time. So I met Tim when I first came to this state, when I first moved to Maryland because of college. He was a friend of a friend, but, you know, I found him very attractive, very attractive. He looked like John Cusack in, not Empire Records. What's the phrase I'm thinking of? Oh my God, Grosse Pointe Blank. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. But he looked like John Cusack in Grosse Pointe Blank. Very, very attractive. But here's the thing. We were both dating other people at the time. We were both dating other people, and, you know, it just was what it was. But then at some point, we both found ourselves to be single, and hey. So I met him officially at a costume party. I was dressed like a slutty French maid. Why? Just why, dude? But I was dressed like a slutty French maid, and he was dressed like a GQ model. So he was in like this beautiful suit, but I think he still had like a little bit of eyeliner on, which to this day, when that man smudges a little bit of eyeliner on, like, ow. And for the second question, I think your personal style is so cool. Thank you. And I wonder how your personal style has evolved over the years. Okay, so let me get some lip stuff. Hold on. Okay, so I think that this is really cheap. Also, wait, look, my favorite lip pencil. Let's see if I can, do you see how the tip just falls out? Please don't fall out all the way. So for my personal style, it's so weird. I feel like sometimes like I don't have a personal style, but at the same time, I feel like whatever style I have right now is what I always wanted it to be when I was a kid. So I was born in 1980, which means I am officially like a child of the 80s. I was a child in the 80s. And when I was growing up, all of my friends had older sisters, especially my best friend had older sisters that were into hair metal. So they had this big freaking hair, and they like just big bangs, because also grew up in Jersey. And I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. And I tried to emulate it, but I was like 8 years old. But I think there was always something about that that kind of stuck with me, that style. I always loved it. And I definitely tried on some other styles. Like for a long time, like childhood through, I'd say maybe like, God, I would almost say like maybe my freshman year in high school, maybe even into sophomore year, I dressed like whatever I thought was trendy. I shopped at Limited Too, and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to shop at Delia's because everyone shops there. I'm going to dress like a skater girl because that's the thing, even though I never touched a skateboard. Like I was just trying to kind of find myself. And then I remember in my junior year of high school, I'd say, is when a lot of stuff happened, like mid-junior year. I remember somebody took me to see Rocky Horror Picture Show for the first time, and just like I started hanging out with a different group of friends, and then all of a sudden I was like, you know what? I'm going to dye my hair red with Kool-Aid, and I'm going to be one of the cool kids. And I just remember that my change was so drastic and so fast that I was even voted in my high school yearbook as most changed. Like seriously, I went from what we would have called back then prep to goth in like a second. And I guess it was one of those things where with a lot of people that could have been a phase for them, and it just turned out it wasn't much for me. So I always have had like a little bit of goth in my style, but more and more as I get older, I'm realizing that I am most comfortable in and feel the most confident in like vintage t-shirts, just comfy t-shirts. That's where I feel the sexiest, rather than some people might wear like a plunging neckline or like a short skirt and high heels. And for me, I'm just like, I feel the sexiest in like a pair of Doc Martens, some ripped fishnets, things like that. It's just what does it for me. And like when it comes to my hair, like if I look like 1986 threw up on my head, it's been a good day. Oh, this question got a lot. Who is, okay, did you have a beauty icon growing up? Mine was Bianca Jagger. Okay, Bianca Jagger, good choice. Growing up, my beauty icons were Drew Barrymore in the 90s when she had the pencil thin eyebrows and wore a lot of daisies in her hair, okay, because she was just like this free grunge goddess who looked beautiful. And also Winona Ryder in her short pixie cut days. So I'm talking like Girl Interrupted, Reality Bites, just perfection. That is still like my idea of perfection, is exactly that. I still love Winona Ryder, but yeah. Let's do one more. Yeah, there's that person again. Practice witchcraft? I'm like, guys, like, wow, okay, you really are intense on this question. Whew. Is there a video you would like to film but are too nervous or scared to? This will be our last question. This is a good one to stop on. Now, here's the thing. I don't like drama. I really don't. I don't watch drama channels. I don't pay attention to drama as much as I can. If drama is near me, I will usually try to avoid it. Like, I do not like drama at all. It makes me uncomfortable. But there is a part of me that would love to film a video on brands that I do not purchase from and why. And there are certain brands out there that are absolutely cruelty-free, that are maybe affordable, that are really popular, that I will refuse to buy from forever. And I have very deep-seated reasons why, and I'm too nervous to make it, because the thing is, like, again, I don't like drama. I try to keep my channel kind of a positive space, and I don't like drama. But damn, there is a part of me that for literally 10 years has wanted to make this video and be like, look, I'm gonna just shit on brands for the next 10 minutes. Anyway, there we go. Thank you all so much for watching, and thank you so much for submitting questions. If you have additional questions you want to be answered, put them in the comments down below, and I'll try to save them up for the next time I do a Q&A, because I love doing these. I love watching Q&As. They make me so damn happy to watch. But if you liked this video, I would love if you give it a thumbs up. That really helps out my channel. Anything that I used here today, every single piece that is still available, we've linked in the description box down below. And if you shop through any of those links, I really appreciate it. And also, if something is out of stock, I'm going to do my best at trying to get better about finding something that's similar for you all if you're looking for something that looks like that item, but you can no longer grab it. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Those are all GlitterFallout. And as always, and forever, you are super freaking rock stars. And I mean it when I say that I love you so much with my whole heart. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.